Welcome back to the S&T Football Show. We are talking about round one of the college football playoffs today. We have the Tulane Green Wave visiting the Ole Miss Rebels in the first round. We've seen this matchup one time before already this year. It was 45-10 in the favor of Ole Miss, and it's basically the same exact game again. Just instead of September, it's December now. So um, yeah, I'll let Cezanne kind of take over this one. I don't think there's too much to talk about, but you never know. I mean, these are the games that they might shake some stuff up. So I'll let Cezanne talk about it first.
Alrighty, here we go. The Tulane Green Wave, number 11 seed, going on the road to Ole Miss, the number 6 seed, for the second time this year. Like you said, these two teams met early on in the season, week 4, week 5, I believe, and Ole Miss absolutely drove them into the ground, buried them 6 feet deep. Was not even a contest, and I'll save the rant about the playoff structure and the system and why we have this game in the first place because we have discussed this in other videos and whatnot. So I'll save that. But we are here now, and the fact that we have already seen these two teams go up against each other kind of gives us an indication of what is going to come this Saturday as well. I don't see much difference in this game. Like you said, it's the same setting. We're back at Ole Miss on campus. Tulane's going on the road again. Not much is changed other than the fact that now we're in the playoff and it's December, and the talent level is still very different on both sides of this game. Ole Miss, obviously, one of the premier programs in the SEC, and has gotten to their first playoff in program history. This probably is the best Ole Miss team we've seen, maybe ever. I mean, I don't know how far you would go back for them, probably to the Eli Manning days or something like that. But Ole Miss at the peak of their program right now. Tulane.
Yeah, and even when they were good, they were always kind of, like we've used this term before, but they're the Penn State of the SEC.
Hmm. Yeah, that is a correct statement, and they just been knocking on the door each and every season, and finally burst through it this year. So shout out to them down there in Oxford, Mississippi, and Tulane on the other side. Tulane, has been one of the best Group of Six programs in college football for several years now. So no surprise to see them, being the Group of Six contender. Uh, just a couple years ago, I mentioned this in another video. They actually made it to the Cotton Bowl against USC and Caleb Williams a few years ago, and they beat USC. Crazy as it was, I watched that game, and USC looked like they were running away with it early, but then Tulane just fought back at the end and somehow pulled it off. So I have seen Tulane, take down a giant before. So not saying it can't happen again. I
Yeah,
I just don't.
I just Yeah, no, sorry to interrupt you there. I was just gonna say, I don't think anybody's upset about Tulane. Like Tulane is the one group of six where it's like they've proven themselves in the past. They had a good season this year. Let them give them a chance. But again, not to go on a rant about the whole structure of things, but put Tulane in the ACC. You know what then?
Fair.
Genuine question. Maybe they're still good. I don't know. Maybe they still I go 10-2. I don't know.
Did did
But
didn't they beat Duke, who won the ACC?
oh, I believe actually that's a good point. I believe they did. Let me
Think
pull up
they,
their schedule, good sir.
so they definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, they,
Or yeah, yeah, that was September. Yeah.
yeah, they got some claim to that for sure. Then yeah, that's a good question right there. Good.
I suppose, yeah, because it's like, well, if you want to put it this way, they beat Northwestern 23-3 week 1. Technically week 0 actually.
Northwestern went
Um,
4 this year,
Yeah, yeah. Northwestern didn't have a terrible season.
not at all.
And then beat Duke. Right, and we know what Duke ended up doing. And then I guess I mean, Tulane didn't really blow anybody out. The biggest thing on their schedule is that loss to UTSA.
Yeah,
I think if they didn't lose that game, which also they lost it by 22 points, so it's not like it was wasn't like it was a last second field goal. Excuse me.
Right.
I I don't know, but yeah. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'll let you finish.
No, that was a good point to make right there because it definitely gives a better insight of what kind of Tulane team we're dealing with here. And even though they did not show up the first time they went to Oxford early on in the season, this second time around, if they learn from their mistakes and they study that game film really well and they bring their A game, if Tulane plays their best possible game, they could hang around. You know what I mean? Like if they absolutely are firing on all cylinders and they play the best game they could possibly put out there, they could hang around. Not saying that'll be enough to,
You,
but
I
you know,
I know I keep
they,
interrupting you, but yeah, it's hard to give Tulane any credit after they've it's like we've already seen this game and it wasn't even like there was no competition from start to finish. It wasn't even close.
right.
And if anything, Ole Miss actually got better since they played Tulane. But anyway, again, I know I keep interrupting you, but I'll actually let you finish now.
Well, I mean, you could say Tulane, has improved as well. So I just think that this will be a predictable game. I think both of these group of six games that we're going to be talking about are going to be predictable outcomes. I think everybody really pretty much understands that. Like I told you before, these two matchups kind of remind me of March Madness college basketball because that's the only time you're going to see like a powerhouse program like you said, like a Duke or a North Carolina versus a no name school, Providence, St. Nichols, something like that. But the lesser team actually has a chance because it's basketball, and basketball is a completely different sport. Not saying that the power programs still don't usually win, but on any given basketball game, anybody can win. You know what I mean? You just got to put it together.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I think everybody would agree with you.
Right, right. So that's why basketball has its own intrigue with the Cinderella teams and all that. Football is not quite the same kind of competition, unfortunately, because even though yes, we do see upsets. You'll see a FCS school beat a FBS school every year. We see that, but usually it's going to come down to how how much can you actually compete in the trenches and how long can you last being as physical with a team that's better than you because Tulane can play a good 15 minutes. They can play a good first quarter, but you have to last 4 quarters, and Ole Miss is going to last 4 quarters. They're built to last 4 quarters. They got 5-star recruits everywhere. They got 5-star coaching. They're built for this. Tulane, they're not built to go 4 quarters with teams like Ole Miss. You know what I mean? They're built to go four quarters with teams like Memphis and Navy and UTSA. They're not built for Ole Miss and Bama and Georgia. So just different levels of competition here, and I just think it's going to be a pretty much a predictable outcome. So go ahead and give me the Rebels at home. Ole Miss gets their first playoff win in history. Uh, on campus, that's just so huge for them. Probably the biggest game in their program history, to be honest. And they move on to take on Georgia once again. So I don't see really any other outcome other than that. Maybe Tulane hangs around and makes it a game, but I think in the end, we all know how this game is going to end. So uh, give me the Rebels. And, shout out to Jake Retzloff, the quarterback for Tulane. We've talked about him before. He came over from BYU, and he's having a great year. And he's looking, to shine on the national stage and, maybe improve his draft stock and whatnot over there. But just some good storylines. Trinidad Chambliss, the quarterback for Ole Miss, the former Division II star who has now come to FBS, and he has led Ole Miss to their first playoff. Lane Kiffin leaving, all that good stuff. So a lot of interesting storylines here. I just think that the matchup is lacking when it comes down to it. But anything else on that, Tom?
I was going to ask you one more question. Do you think Ole Miss covers 17 and a half points? So do you think Ole Miss wins by 18 points or more? I think yes.
Well, based on the fact that they won by 35, first time, I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
I think
It's yeah. Yeah. There yeah. Yeah. That's a fair point. I just wanted to ask you that because that's what the official line is at the moment is 17 and a half. And it might even go in Ole Miss. It might even go in Tulane's favor. Like they might bump it up. Like it might be 20 and a half by the time the game starts. So,
That's crazy.
um, yeah, no, I just wanted to ask you that. That was my final question. But other than that, no, yeah, like you said, good. It's a good storyline. Tulane deserves to be in. They've consistently been that group of six team. Been able to fight and claw and make their way year after year. Usually if they have a bad year for them is 8-4. So um, Tulane is no surprise that they made it in, especially with the technicality of the rules we have now. But not to get too much into the playoffs. But yeah, I think Ole Miss um, beats the dog shit out of Tulane. Excuse my French, but um, yeah, I think it's a repeat of the first game. It might, I guess, maybe a little closer. Maybe they only win by 20 this time.
I think it'll be slightly closer. Slight.
Slightly. Yeah.
Maybe some garbage time points at the end, you know.
Yes, correct. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I think we covered that pretty well.
Okay, here's my last question. Uh
Yeah.
pretend this is another bet. Pretend this is cow sheet, right?
Yeah.
Will Ole Miss be playing their backups by the start of the fourth quarter?
Um, I'm gonna say no because it's the playoffs.
Or maybe not start of the fourth quarter, maybe like midway to the fourth quarter. Do you think Ole Miss's backups are out there and their starters are getting ready for next game?
Oh gosh, halfway through the fourth quarter,
Because when it comes down to the
I
Oregon,
want it.
that's a
I want to. I want to say yes. Like yes, the backups will get in. But yeah, that's a good question actually. No, I mean, what do you think?
because I think the Oregon game it will be like that. Like the game will be over by the fourth quarter. So uh,
That's the next video. That's the next video.
yeah, but
But yeah,
I think this game will be like that too. Do you think this one will be over by the fourth quarter? We're already thinking about next round.
the only thing that catches me up is that Ole Miss has all backup not players, but like all backup coaches and whatnot. But
Yeah,
at the same time, football is like you said, football is way different than basketball. Like football, you can cut off the head, but there's like five other heads. You know what I mean? It's like you have how the players play, like period. You can be the best head coach of all time, and if your players play like crap, you're not the best coach of all. Like you know what I mean? You're not the best coach of all time that week because you still lost, but it wasn't because of anything you did. So I don't know. It could go the opposite way though, like where the players are just like, fuck it, we don't even need coaches. We're just gonna play how we know we can play, and we're gonna call the plays that we normally call, and we're just gonna do it all ourselves. Hey, if that works, I mean, go for it. But the coaching thing for Ole Miss is gonna be the biggest X factor of this entire playoffs because are they like, yes, they might play pissed off, but if you play pissed off, does that mean you play stupid? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, where it's like if you don't have the level-headed coach, you know, the voice of reason, I should say, like, are they going to play stupid? That's the biggest X factor is what is Ole Miss going to do without Lane Kiffin? Are they going to be stupid or are they going to be sharper than ever? Um, we'll see. We'll see on Saturday.